We're good? Oh, yeah, we are. Here we go. God, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing today? Yes. Okay, great. So it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jose Maso. I am the Chief of Human Services for the City of Boston. And I'm excited to be here with you all as we reaffirm Boston's commitment to youth sports through the Let's Play Boston initiative. Let's Play Boston is a consortium of public and private youth sports providers who are all working together to deliver on the promise of a high-quality sports experience for the young people of Boston. Everyone here is a player, a coach, the parent of a player, a referee, a cheerleader. We are all connected and committed to youth sports because we all know the potential impact that sports can have in kids' lives. Today, as a community, we're taking the extra step of endorsing the Children's Bill of Rights in Sports, a consensus statement of principles from the Aspen Institute aimed at fostering a healthy sports culture here in Boston. The Bill of Rights in Sports promotes inclusivity, safe and healthy environments, and equal access to sports opportunities for all youth. The Bill of Rights is well aligned with what we're already doing in the city of Boston to promote the growth of a whole person, not just the athlete, and to ensure that the programs offered to youth promote the values of sportsmanship and respect for others. Boston is joining 4 other cities in endorsing these principles, along with other World Cup hosts, including New York, New Jersey, and Guadalajara, Mexico. I hope you all join me in embracing these shared values in the work that you do and help us live up to these principles. With that, it is my esteemed pleasure to turn it over to our mayor, the Honorable Mayor Michelle Wu, who has made this all possible. Thank you all.
Morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who was with us upstairs. Thank you again to President Jefferson for hosting us and for your partnership and leadership at Roxbury Community College. We just came from an incredible convening upstairs. I just caught the tail end of it, but it was 200 of our youth sports partners across the city, focusing on just about every sport. We saw soccer, football, track in the room, fencing. I got a card from the local fencing organization. He said he works the age range of that program from age 6 to 86. So there's a lot happening all across the city because of dedicated community organizations, people who are often dipping into their own pockets or trying to find whatever space is available, putting together the partnerships to make sure that our young people have access to opportunity, and that our young people have every chance to be the best version of themselves, to learn teamwork, to grow, to have fun, and to then develop the leadership skills that enable them to give back to their community. We at the city are stepping up in our part of that equation to make sure that we can provide the best infrastructure for all of the work that's happening across youth sports in the city, to make sure that we can provide the convening space, the connections across our community so that we can all do more when we're on the same page together. The driving force behind that has been some members of our team, so thank you again to Chief Jose Maso of the Human Services Cabinet, Deputy Chief Lisa Conley, Tyreek Wilson, who is our Youth Sports Initiative Manager, who you'll hear from in a little bit, Pedro Cruz, who leads our Office of Youth Engagement and Advancement and hosted an amazing town hall last night with Boston Public Schools high school students at the bowling building, which we saw, again, hundreds of young people participating and sharing their views. Also shout out to Commissioner Marta Rivera of the Boston Center for Youth and Families, as well as all of our teams at Parks, BPS, BCYF, for all that they do. Over the weekend, I got to stop by a chilly but jam-packed Mayor's Cup soccer tournament, which, come on over, Michael, here. No, you're good. We had the largest ever participation in that tournament, more than 100 teams from all across the city, and we also, this year, provided not just the games and the schedule for everyone, but a full-on soccer festival to create space for that community building across our neighborhoods as well. I have the pleasure of being a soccer mom in Boston and seeing a little bit of the youth sports scene. I know how important it is for our young people to have that outlet and the difference that it makes off the field or away from the court or back at home or in the classroom from the experiences and the skills that they gain from the training with so many of these organizations. It's what makes Boston the city where families want to be. It keeps our families rooted in community, and we need to do more to make sure that all of our young people have access to every opportunity to participate. We're joined here, I mentioned President Jefferson from RCC. I also want to shout out Director Michael Turner for the Reggie Lewis. Thank you for all that you do and for hosting so many of the very important activities that happen here in the community and in the city. And we are always honored to be in the company of the esteemed Coach Tony Richards, Sr., founder of No Books, No Ball, who recently received a national award, again, representing Boston's leadership and our entire city. Thank you to City Councilor Erin Murphy for being here, and to all my colleagues on the council for their support of our efforts to expand youth sports. And we're very honored as well to have Michael Carter Williams, not only 2014 NBA Rookie of the Year, but also an incredible leader. Thank you to your entire team at Endure for Athletes for partnering with Let's Play Boston to make sure that the young people could participate in a month-long course for basketball teams at Charlestown and English high schools. I know that was life-changing for them. You'll hear a little bit more anyway, but the chance for our student athletes to talk openly and honestly about not just their identities as athletes, but health and nutrition, the role of mental health and overall wellness in their lives on and off the field, on and off the court, is incredibly important. We're a city that loves to win, but we know that sports is about so much more than championships. It is about building confidence and leadership and community, and teaching the value of teamwork, resiliency, and collaborative problem solving. So our administration's goal of making Boston a home for everyone is deeply connected to what we're talking about here today. We celebrate our teams when they claim a title, from our Charlestown High School teams, the Boston Lady Raiders, Dorchester Elite Eagles, the Celtics, of course. And it also means we invest in state-of-the-art facilities. We are so excited about the plans and the benefits that a renovated White Stadium will bring to all of our student athletes at the Boston Public Schools. And above all, that focus on being a home for everyone and making sure that youth sports is a priority means that the people and programs dedicated to creating this fun, active opportunity across our neighborhoods have what they need to make Boston the best possible place for athletes of every age and every level. And that's why we're here to also sign on to the Children's Bill of Rights in Sports. It lays out a framework that really complements the efforts Boston has already been making to make sports accessible to all and to have that as a baseline guarantee that every young person who wants to participate will have the ability and the available resources to do so. Our Connect, Learn, Explore program guarantees that young people growing up in the city will have access to playing youth sports, being involved in the arts, learning to ride a bike, learning how to swim, and getting their hands dirty, growing and being involved in nature. That commitment to creating the best possible experience for families with children is one that I believe translates to the safety, the prosperity, and the stability of all of our communities. And today we're also very excited to announce that the Human Services Cabinet will be distributing $300,000 in grant funding to 55 community-based athletics providers, connecting young people to sports all across Boston. These funds will help pay for equipment and fees and reduce the upfront costs for young people and their families to participate, because whether you can pay should never be a barrier to whether you can play. And secondly, we have launched the Boston Sports Facilities Map on our Let's Play Boston webpage. The map is a one-stop resource for anyone who needs to find a field, court, track, rink, or any other sports facility in Boston, whether it's city-owned or private. If it's a space that's available to use for sports, it is on the map, and we want to keep getting public feedback on what else everyone would like to see in the resource so that you can make plans for your family, try out something new, or get involved with the closest organization. This is the very first time that Boston has ever had a map in one place that includes all of our city's sports facilities. It's going to help us internally in our planning department also identify where the gaps are, and therefore think about how community-centered development can fill some of those gaps in the housing or other buildings or other investments that are being made. And we hope that it will also help our youth sports providers find the space that they need to create these experiences for our young people. So thank you to our Human Services Cabinet, our Analytics Department, Parks and Rec, and everyone, all the providers for getting this information together, working with us so that we can join the set of communities that are signing on for youth sports to be a foundation for the greatest possible development and then the greatest possible leadership in life beyond. To all of our providers across the city, thank you for standing with us. Thank you for telling us what you need to help make our youth sports ecosystem one that lives up to our name as City of Champions. And now I will pass it over to Tyreek Wilson, our Youth Sports Initiative Director.
So how y'all doing? For those that don't know me, my name is Tyreek Wilson, so I'm the Youth Sports Initiative Manager for the City of Boston, and I'd like to thank Mayor Wu and Chief Marceau for giving me this opportunity here to help lead the Let's Play Boston and the Youth Sports Initiative. I grew up, born and raised in Boston, and honestly wasn't a day that I can't remember not being involved in community programming and youth sports. You know, I just born into it. Not a day, again, I can't remember not waking up on the weekends early in the morning to help, my parents set up, or just discussions about how to help provide for kids and youth. And so this is why this job and this initiative is so, passionate, and I'm so passionate about it. Like as I mentioned, just the bonds that I can remember. Some of the people that are, here today, and again, the listener out there, that again, it wasn't about necessarily the sport. We always wanted to win, but it's like the lifelong connections that I remember building through sports that was very important, and even to this day, very helpful. Started playing basketball, like I mentioned, since I was a kid. I was okay. I was a kid. I held my own. But again, there was others throughout the way, that showed me that necessarily wasn't going to be my path, but I still put my all into it. My father, my uncle, my cousins, they all play sports. So as a kid, I always thought, okay, that's going to be my path. So as life played out, I went up against guys, as a caliber of this man over here, that showed me that was not necessarily going to be the route that I was going to go. But at the end of the day, that's why I enjoy this job so much, because what I talk to the guys that I coach, not right now, I coach high school at Madison Park, working with a lot of youth and helping them figure out what their backup plan is. Because at the end of the day, ball and sports are only going to take you so far, and I tell them this all the time, but what are you going to do when that ends? So that is why this is so important. Through sports, I want to help kids understand that you're going to be a professional one way or another. And I stole that quote from Deja from Positive Coaching Alliance, that you all are going to be professionals one way or another. So what are you going to do with that when that time comes? How are you going to build yourself up as a person when the sport eventually ends? So that's what I chose to do. So I thought I was going to play in college, didn't work out, delved into just school, and it played out into this point where now I'm helping create programs with, different folks that I'm happy to work with, the Parks and Recreation team, BCYF, BPS, and trying to find ways that not only through sports, how can we, like was mentioned earlier, help the non-athletes, help people who may have an enjoyment for sports but can't take it to that level, but still have a love for it. And so that's what we're going to constantly keep trying to figure out as a community. And as an adult, like right now, it's great to be able to help put these great role models in front of people, help create programs that help show them that it's okay if you don't end up going through that professional sports path. You can still be a well-rounded and great professional. So now being able to say that we created a program with Michael Carter Williams, working with two BPS teams, Charlestown High School and English High School, and doing a 4-week mindfulness course, nutrition, financial literacy, and just really teaching them how to manage themselves when they're playing this sport. Because as everybody can kind of relate, there's always people who are talented, but because they don't have the mental or emotional control, they can never just show their talent. So I appreciate Mike being able to help the youth figure that other path out. And that's going really well. And tomorrow we're going to be at Dick's House of Sports, where we're going to tie that whole program together. And that's what it's all about, bringing role models in front of these kids that can show them how they can be successful one way or another. So appreciate getting the opportunity to share that a little bit about myself and my story. And so now I want to pass it off to somebody who started off as a mentor and to me, as a friend. And again, there was points in times where, again, when I lost my uncle, he stepped up and became like an uncle figure to me and has done, when my first knowledge of playing basketball was through his program. And again, it wasn't just about my basketball career playing out. A lot of relationships that I built through that program helped build me up to be who I am today. And I'm very appreciative of this man. So I'd like to welcome up Coach Tony Richards.
Thank you. Just wanted to, first of all, thank the mayor for just carving out a program that's going to really help support the work that a lot of community nonprofits do in our city. But just real briefly, I'm an iron worker, a local 7 iron worker for 35 years. I helped build this building when it was dirt. And all of the structure out front of this building, I was a welder, so that was my job to weld all of the steel structure in front of the building. I also worked with Reggie Lewis, handing out turkeys at the Cabot Arena 35 plus years ago. And I also, after his passing, I had the honor to teach his young daughter and son, Reggie and Regina, basketball through No Books, No Ball basketball program. So it's God puts you in different places and spaces for reasons. No Books, No Ball was started just for me having a value of knowing how impactful sports and recreation has been in my life, how much trouble that kept me out of. I was the third son of, my mother had 7 boys. I was the third of 7. So it was easy to keep us in recreation spaces on basketball courts to keep us out of the line of fire in our communities. And that's all I wanted to do when I started No Books, No Ball 32 years ago, was make sure my son had the same type of love and mentorship around him. So, 30 kids in the Roxbury YMCA, they didn't have a program at the time. I planted my foot in that gym with 30 kids. 30 grew to 100, 100 grew to 200, 200 grew to 300, and now for the last 15 years, we've been serving 400 to 500 kids in that league per season. And then now after COVID, we were deployed to go outside and start a program in one of the neighborhood parks that just became a demand. So that's another 500 kids. So each year we're serving 1,000 kids at minimum. Some of the treasures that have come through No Books, No Ball have been launching to the NBA, but the NBA wasn't my goal 32 years ago. I'm honored to get the financial support from the mayor's program, but the $1 million check is right there. Watching that young man stand behind his mic, so articulate, understanding and identifying that it was career choices. Your gateway to success is going to be through education. That's why I promote No Books, No Ball, because how prominent as an athlete you may be, if you're not academically balanced, it doesn't really go far in your life and in your career. So it's an honor just to watch him and countless of others that I watch and I see in professional spaces. And I just watched him, and it warms my heart to see how they get it. And that's the $1 million check. As much as this financial support will help, that $1 million check helps more. And I just am honored and applaud the mayor for always believing. You carved out a space in this city that for 32 years I haven't seen. I haven't seen you, mayor, give that much emphasis and passion to what's gonna make our future better. And that's where we're at. That's why there's so many people up in that room upstairs that do the work in the community. And with your support and with that leadership team, you me and your father go back a long time, but we all have the same values to watch our kids grow and man this community, man this city. There's no reason for us to solicit for outside in other states and other parts of the world when we have jewels right here in our city. And this is a big applaud to them. So thank you for allowing me to share.
folks, thank you again. That concludes our speaking segment. We are going to take some photos up here, if folks wouldn't mind just joining me up here. Makai, can we move the podium? Yeah. Yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry. While we have the microphone, and ask Michael Carter Williams to say something. He's turning the mic on 1 second.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me here. This is a really important day for the city of Boston. I grew up playing youth sports here. My friends, my family, we grew up playing youth sports here. So I just feel like it's my duty to give back in any way I can to support the young women and the young men here. And just, show them that there's people from this area that have made it to the highest level. Give them that belief that they can make it. And if they don't, there's other ways and there's other avenues to, stay in sports if you want to, or, do whatever you want. But I think the point is that there's support here from, all ages. Like Tyreek said, I spoke to Charlestown High School and English High through BPS, and it was really impactful, to see the kids so interested in how to better their future, and it just made me want to do more. It made me more passionate about the city in general, and so, like I said, I thank you guys for coming together and creating this, and Let's Play Boston is going to be a really impactful thing for the city, and I look forward to staying involved and seeing the results. Thank you.
Now that concludes our speaking portion.